And a game in a gene 3 minute shows an SWPL action show and game yedig must be British down the league son na gemichin international nisha Jew hashing an the cove for a vil operating a good falcha ith Celtic and then skipper had a hula game achas in a vunik sa league and Tazense. Als we een dronje gehoord dat eigen thing ha opbrengen dat show eik ballen eigenlijk groen ligt er een ieder stuk agus ieder gas het doel en het aan de show ga even do een nice Celtic ha kolle gemal later een show a do like ligt er een chillig wat wie ieder stuk. Als je een show aan de cove ik parken val moral para wil opbrengen het al een nice Celtic zijn SWPL. Hallo, Fisker Maggie Vichartin, Gur Game, Pal Kosha, Fisker and Jew is show at BBC Alpa. Hashing Sinerhu and the Cove, well, I'm told on a kilo dushke, acking a show, Maravaking, here think a Jera. Told you could give Kelly Forrest and Huvidrasa. Kelly, thanks for joining us as always here on BBC Alpa. Two sides today, Aberdeen going up against Celtic, both played midweek. We'll start with Aberdeen and they'll be bitterly disappointed after losing 5-0 to Aberdeen away from home.
Yeah, I think, as I was saying, I think it went from bad to worse on Wednesday night for Aberdeen. You know, starting off, didn't take the chances that were given. They won't get away with that today. And then obviously the penalty and sending off and, you know, as I say, bad to worse, not a great night. Hopefully a lot of reflection on that burst journey home and they can make it up to Clint today. Yeah,
tough night indeed. But despite that result and maybe despite the performance as well, it has been a good start, a positive start to the season for Aberdeen.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been impressed with Clint so far. I think he's come in and really put got them playing out from the back again. You know, the introducing of Faye Kirby has meant, you know, they've looked comfortable doing that. So yeah, absolutely. You know, great run of form. And for me, they can't let Wednesday night dictate how they play today.
But of course, their opponents today, Celtic, the only side to have won all their games so far in the league. And they, of course, will be buoyed by their comeback on Wednesday night against Hearts, coming back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. That's a huge result for Fran Alonso's side.
I think Wednesday was a fantastic result. I think Hearts will be a disruptor in the season for the top three. I think they'll absolutely take points from the top three teams. So to go out and win 3-2 after being 2-0 down is a great turnaround, a massive 3 points, especially off the back of that unfortunate Champions League fixture the week before.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for now, Kelly. We'll just have a look now through the other fixtures today. Sul Eicherach Ethna Kemikanela had Dollar Jew, Glasgow City, Bunyaka Shia Canyoni, and now Dundee United. Montrose, as Joey gave a hit game Achas in a Bunyaka League, Harassen in it, Cowla Jew, and now Rangers. Spartans, Hamilton, Dahil, and Nura Hearts of Bunyaka Shit, a Kate Canyoni, and now Partick Thistle. Kieran, I can need this at the Topanamahad, Hibernian. Wel, y draste hashing at all chleingen vo na managerin agus who Derek Mackay Fachel, Aidan G. Shaka, Bacon, na Petraia.
Clinton, second game in just a few days, and you'll be looking to bounce back after that tough loss to Hibs.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we know this is a tough one as well. But yeah, it's one we're looking forward to, and the players have worked hard this week, and even against Hibs they worked really hard, so it was a shame we didn't get anything from that game. It was a tough one for us, but yeah, one we're looking forward to.
And we're early in the season, but already I think injuries and suspensions are going to be making your job slightly more difficult today.
Well, injuries definitely. I mean, the suspension is just the one, doesn't make it easier, no. But the injuries far from ideal in the midweek game. But we've got players that have come in that are really keen and really hungry to get going and to impress. So we've got good players coming in, so we'll be fine.
It's been a good start to the season. You're probably achieving as well, maybe slightly better than you'd hoped, perhaps.
Well, to be honest, I don't really know, really, to be honest with you. I mean, it's all new for me, being my first season up here. So it was one of those where I didn't really know what to expect coming into it. So we're just giving it our best in every game. And yeah, we've got some good points on the board, and we just got to hope that continues now. And yeah, it's so far so good.
Fran, it's been a busy week after, well, just a few days ago, the Champions League games and then a hard game midweek against Hearts. How are the team coping with the pressures of the schedule?
I think they are coping well just because we are getting the results. Apart from one, you know, the team has been doing amazing. Very, very tough game, the last four. But apart from one in the penalty shootout, the rest we managed to get the wins. And today is going to be one more of the same. without time to really prepare, just to recover and get ready. And yeah, we expect a very tough game against a very improved team from last year. But we really like the group. I think the girls are doing fantastically well, and we have the ability to rotate the squad, and whoever coming to the team, they do very, very well for us. So yeah, exciting, but very difficult game.
You know, after midweek, Hearts started very quickly. You had to recover from that. You'll know that you need to start well and you need to get the result because the pressure never eases in this league.
Yeah, I hope we don't start as bad as we did against Hearts. That's the worst start since I am here. That's definitely the worst start we ever had. But the good thing is, you know, we managed to come back, which is extremely difficult. It's so hard against a full-time side, a very well-organized side, a side that are doing very, very well. To manage to come back and win, that's amazing. So gave us so much confidence. But yeah, we know we cannot start like that today. We cannot always come back from bad starts. So hopefully today we start well and we manage to get the 3 points, which is what we aim for. But as I say, we are going to face a very, very good side, massive improvement from last year with a few full-time players, players that we know from England, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But the girls are up for the challenge.
Siad gaith ma na manager in Fran Alonso an hyn, agus a dosach Clinton Lancaster manager opering. Well, a daumanis an skipi in a chinamach drastas, mas in a daumanis a golsuas gurniach adis on a game face good a Jew, Derek Machkei.
Taplat sa víchel, sé sésifis a nuach jiknia bin a cluidir in the cavach, fed mar of a measure condri. Fran Alonso bok, freaking picking vinich and Kuyu. Nog geet, I guess in dat skip ik have his Jushal er zo'n game ha rompe gronacher in in dat heuv. Aberdeen, le 3 Jushin. Holden, de gorste goed in jakin, maar wat Kirby, dat er ne push tegen Finny, de Karsjala kiet een lugetuchtje mag, als ze scoort ulikilier de schach. Daarna Jason, Hachinje, McCann, I guess Black, I guess aan de mene park. Phoebe Murray na hel selm ja koop in de chia geguus, a cluchne skipig ook, ach gesho. Giolis ma Irvinki Kujok, de Clinton Lancaster. Shiach in Celtic, Agnew, Burchill, Partido, Shen, Smith, agus Doherty tuche mach. Na Natchison, Logan, Addy, Ross, McEnany, Laferskis Gallagher, Rashikanoi, Gallagher, de Ruud Hug, de scored Pedro Martinez Losa, de Galape. Fran Alonso, Jushal, son Ignoich, Marvik Doel, the Shea Shachkin Kama, Frank Marvishnik Harry Shutter, Fen Harry Shit, Vrishi Doel, Golden Katal, and Moslo, Noi Valerenka, Fen Shachater. Can first in the back of the Hearts tries the game good job Talta Hulk and Johnny Erik Snors in the pool nog een game Miss Toshishin again a minister Hager Kaviakin maar geen het is maar gewoon het nu hebben ze er tacht aan de kant toe Afrika maar hier is net Tulchen aan de Libya verder wil een meeltje more het was zeggen ik is goed job en krijg half van de Marokko hij zit toch goed erin Celtic kenig de mannen Addy aan Marokko heen. Pwy'r yn sylwch liantyn. Dyna haf, ys o'n minach hanad y fi ysgyda. Siar reitir New Lewis Brown ys gwn chlwysyn yrd na loen i hyn. Bi Olivia Crawford agos Bailey Watt le Owen Lawrence sy'n mi hawn. Mae'r cherif Offican. Da hyf. Niet van Krinkonig. Op er een gemat loven hoe de skipper Achgesen de Dean Hansen Chillig. Celtic in is er zich een huddle Achgesen. Dan is Kelly Clark Chillig hoe geleerd achter de goeie is de skipper als een Celtic uit die toosje hoe ze hier door. Ach er geen kach achter hoe holt een jelle de toosje hoe 3 minuten. Er een heesense, of Verskis Gallagher, de mist een hul, maar geen ene toosje hoe zijn dressuur is de league. De voin weg, de lok Lentin, hakken Lentin. Vergelijk toe, als je niet in de voet is, geen je hoe ik het ook. Hij heeft aan het wiel, George Schach, die nu in de kette in de huddle kun je misschien wel chance kan maken. Als je een chisel gestoord hebt, op een eentje naar Celtic, het game geven nu van SWPL. Celtic, het hoosje in de richting zijn daar naar het Glasgow City, de Schach had daar. En daarna uit. Bij Celtic en nog eens een kopinker hier Rangers hier is de 3 punten in nu. Dat die Aberdeen streeft aan de nieuwe schach op de party tussen la kalm raast die hart. Maar volgende gezien ze nog ze anders te wegen. Ik heb de werk gekitelen hier hier gaat. Ja, ik zit gaat gaan naar Kelly Clark gehoord dat gebeurt er van wat. Ga wie Celticers een toosje goed gesloten toch maar wijn naar Hearts. Maar kan niet geen rash. Bij Celtic, Natalie Ross, kijk je rash Yusi. Kelly Clark, kach, Farish, gaat je zien voor een Jorgi. Daar wil je niet aan de paard, kach Farish, haar toetje met McKinney, ik heb nog een dinje vast gewielen van de goede ballen was in. Thompson in de park, geriest. De ene rood jacket. Maries voor Thompson, kijk. Vieren wie Hutchison vliegen stjachig. Hutchison staat. Het is maar close to nog geen bukker hosjager is in. Hij zuurige torer is in. Kelly Forrest is in goal. Kelly, it's been a patchy first minute, both sides giving the ball away and misplacing passes.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, Aberdeen, I think they're looking to keep the ball, which is right, which they've really started to work on this season. They don't look like they've panicked, but yes, a transition in possession so far, but that's probably quite natural given just this kick-off.
And I was watching back this morning the Celtic Hearts game from midweek where there was an absolute flood on the pitch, whereas today you can tell it's really dry. It was a nice sunny morning in Aberdeen. The pitch looks pretty sticky, you have to say.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, a slightly wetter surface, you're right, on this surface is preferential, but it is a little bit sticky, but a little bit grateful personally that it's not raining.
Yeah, from a selfish point of view, delight.
Absolutely.
Op de ene staat de Schach, Fran Ogilvie, Cheval Lichtke, Stuart kreeg naar Aschach, Ries ga je komen. Hier in de gal, Zuanje, Hutchison. Schontigers, Gegamal, Gema. Wie Marie ook, meer in de parkjes in, kan jullie riesjach, Gapal Hieke ga je van Ogilvie. Maar kan je niet vinden dat je Ogilvie kunnen vallen. We zijn zoals Leun en Niskola, Versky en Gallagher, deze wie een. Versky, Rielish, Raschke Roos. Roos kan je die Rasch gewoon naar Duurischen voor Gallagher. Ach, hij op een Niske maan oorsen. Thompson kan vlug van de rage, zie je heen de ballen. Goed pression klima, zelfs door Eva Thompson. Ja, enkele ballen wordt pak. Ginierer. Chloe Logan, daar zit een push de Celtic nu. Toch het hier een keer. Adi fijn hier toe gekje. Selemi, hij ik verder een keer. De man Adi. Nou ik trouw zeggen slims naar bereiken in jachten. Gallagher, Erasmus de skipper, je zei Prakken, McCown. I guess if ein gyrym, dy sgwrdd na halapar i'n hachyn sy'n cwjog. Gymich yn fyhyn ys lig na dwchyryn. Noi Hassin sy'n noi na Pelig. Hansen, Suzy Hutchison. Alma fys as sy'n chanadw. Bal marsin fy Hutchison. Go ogl fi yn ys, caran la hyn ys o. Fiach na sy'n go Stewart. Chadwr i hichgyd i'r agata. Sa'n ys Cavanagh sy'n y falafrish. Yr asgo Logan. Sy'n yn ymachlis gyda Celtic yn ys. Galach yn dwy'n. Rwy'n y gros mi yn y parc. Cwrdd meich gybal yn gycasen. Sy'n ys gycasen o Ferski ach. Yr ogl fi yr as. Gyma, dy galaf. Dy go. Hansen, skipper yr ôl yr as chyn chwld yn yw. No go Black. Jes Broderick clwychig. Yn chli. Sy'n nhw gydolc ym gyn y sewr ti chyn y sy'n ach. Eisiau go siach yn o laif chli yn o lein y tîn yn y sy'n le. Clwy gofod yr y bialw. Thompson. Lurgus Stewart. Ni eisiau caran la hyn, chan i'r cwsta haich gamgi. So Celtic yn ddwys i'r establishing. Cavanagh yn ymachlis, Gausen. Leferski, yr hyn ymach yn olaif chli. Nolden is go Adi. Onglu, hawdd yr olaif iesh. Sabi si fi yn ddiw sy'n gyda'r gyda'r glich. Is het gaat Ferski pullig Chisel of zo'n. Nu zit er hard schachten mee in de park. Ross kan hoekelijk aan Celtic. Ferski kassen la Ferski. Soos Alina, Leferski. Hier het corner. Corner ge Celtic hier ter Geniesker Jaisen Dave Cormac, carry je op rein. En misknak wat. Gaan je lee, vaak in de walk naar hem heen. Krijg je alles. Was Georgia has nog een gestogen. Snel kneven. Ross is corner. Støy. Corner y Lewison. Gan sy'n sy'n Clwy Crig hym i Critchig hyd ffost. Hyn agos Clark sy'n hys Chesib Fair y bialw. Annalisa McCann. Hys y gyffost chwn. Galach yr arasistiach. Fa Crig y geir i hron ach fa Crig yr hyn fo hi ach mi lygol. So per ein i'r Chesib ffrisio hyd gwlwyn y fasyn. Kelly Forrest, Aberdeen will be pleased to have withstood those couple of set pieces. And how do you think they've settled? They seem to have settled in the game okay, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually been very impressed with their start. They're keeping their composure on the ball. Well defended at a corner. We know what Celtic are like. Huge threat. Crosses are always coming into that 6-yard area, and they've defended that pretty well. But yeah, comfortable start. I think just in the final third, maybe we could ask of them to be a bit more, show a bit more composure, but yeah, not bad so far.
So the Daslischen. Wieder, jetzt haben wir Kelly Brie. Glücklich macht von der Goal gemacht. Thompson, noch gegen 100 East, Adi. Wenn die Kasse Schacher Hosche Corrigen. Kavanagh, fiach mi Marie ook, gaan we de vader wallig. Gaat je echt get Bulloch. Geu met daar, Kata Celtic, get van Kavanagh voor in pivot. Van de Kasse en Co. Broderick van. Kelly, we weren't quite sure what Clinton Lancaster was going to do we suspected Nadine Hansen was dropping back into the defence, but Broderick going to the left, and it'll be interesting to see how they all settle and communicate together.
Yeah, I think he was, on his pre-match interview says, why would I change a formation that's working so well for us? And that's exactly what he's done. He stuck to his 3-5-2 and just to move some players around. I think Jess is a very diverse player, so she used to play left back last season quite a lot, and Nadine also has taken the role of a centre half position previously before, so I don't think that's an issue, and I think that's a really good decision, putting some experience in his back line.
Broderick's going to have naich Nadine Hansen, naich Broderick, Gyman is Joliche, Dutchach, Gluchik, Aston Willem is Daniki. Hoe is Ginjer Hoe? Skipper a club. En dan Lauren Campbell, I guess Kelly die me Ronnishin. Celtic er Shagga Dries, mee in de park. Thompson, Ventorgen of Alden. Kelly, Celtic struggling to string the passes together. The likes of Eva Thompson, also Phoebe Murray, very young teenager in midfield for Aberdeen, managed to get some tackles in and pitch the ball back off them now and again.
Yeah, I think Celtic coming out there. He's seen Ross peel off Murray actually, but wanted the ball to feet, but it was a misplaced pass from Craig there. But yeah, absolutely. Phoebe Murray stepped up in the first 5-10 minutes here, and I think that she's shown her tenacity, and she needs to keep her focus. But yeah, she's definitely got stuck in, and it's a good start from her.
Maar hier nog doornegaan voor de winkie in deze set. Ach zo, hier het maar hoosje hier. Gaat ze vis die glim kuju gaan ik voor de winkie naar Hibs. Den jakken kuju selemi. En naatje Eva Thompson. Dan ga je heen naar Nick Giak. Waarschijnlijk het horen waar ik jolische Celtic. Als skipper gehad mee in de park stochen. Adisha richt, Ross Keertje richt. Kavanagh Kehre richt. Leon de Genakker holt in de stijl. Jenik op er één. Ogelwies. Shinjakik, Davlen richt. Thompson Ashen. Phoebe Murray Ashen. Ja, richt de trein. He's Gagach voor Stewart. Adi de Shagger er hier gloeider. Gaan negen Shagger er naar check it out. Man Ade va goed houders in stadje neentje van Alabama. Ska goed mag op er een verhuurde goal mag genoorzen. Broderick is. Op er een ken me in de wonde gaan Tobber de Maher. Snij Montrose, snij Spartans, snij Hamilton. Vind je het nog eens? Nou, ik weet niet of ik Montrose zeg Hamilton de volgende. Wat was je er deze? Clinton Lancaster kan maar 5 keer die wekker aan. Niet tegen maar zijn takken, maar was heel goed. Vind je met Jenema Shoketa, Gallagher. Viagen is ja, Jens Leverski op een Jenema gaan houden. Hier was je niet hier. Ik heb de jacket dat hij aan de bekende Stank. Roos, Kachoich, Kasia Kleva. Gallagher, Hansen en Wouw. Geen de ballen mag. Helemaal de vuurtjes. Corner liggen Celtic het dat. Hey, zeg eens klaar. Kijk eens, Craig, Huis van de goal. Kies je net. Naatjeken. Is nog naar echt. Hoe het te gaan is er wat. Hayes, she is going to love Nick. Annalisa McCann. Die should tolletje Sinead na laven. He's na kunnerst reached. Kelly, again, the danger from Celtic. But Annalisa McCann will be delighted to have got this into her hands nice and safely. The teenager coming in for her first start of the season.
Yeah, I think, routine corner from Celtic, hit the 6-yard box and look for Hayes. And it's about how Aberdeen nullify that. They've got to have winners in that 6-yard box, whether that's Annalisa McCann or I think Ailey Shore, they're picking up Caitlin Hayes. But yeah, I don't think, you know, there's enough contact for it to be a threat for Annalisa McCann. And yeah, back to her first start of the season, you know, she played a number of fixtures last season, so this is not new to her. I think she'll slot in quite comfortably to the team today.
Gallagher. Start ik aan haal, le Thompson. Thompson shaking yegin huur. Koenend. Professional. Blue Cahal, Harish, Celtic. Chanir van Dulkerot, Togain Rasha, and Ish, Billy Hutchison, le pass through a gekishin. The first ski, man in Jalanich, Shachat. Ach, man in Jalanich van Bracht, ook zo, Skutjok, like a man is low kishin. Naomi Black. The first ski, the Viaka to the triology. Shachmarava, Olivia Crawford, MS. She, die, had ook een prachtig, weegt nog liner in de verhaal. Elias Reiter. En Lisa McCann er ook. Keer je holt in je goed is er vaak. Vergaan ik McCann maar zag het er in Jensen. SWPL de Lee. Fran Ogilvie Vehuwer. Carson Hoerig, zeggen ik game. Logan Agus McCann dat er een push has, kunt savel Kerstjenne, we krijgen Kjaan. Celtic is Corum, Keintjach, Kerst, een groeige pijn, ietsje. En hier na op er één, geef het eruit. Marie Gol Nuenjesjen, is klootje bal Nolko. Je moet plakken hoor. De kassen Kjarisjen, heilig kassen, heilig bal is gemig en hij kan er één. Van Francesco Ogilvie. Faculation Amy Black. Amy Black will be grateful, Kelly, that Fran Ogilvie was there, just losing her balance, catching her feet in the turf, I think.
Yeah, I think she's slightly unlucky there. I think the ball gets caught under her feet, as you were saying. It's maybe slightly sticky on the surface, but yeah, good anticipation from Francesco Ogilvie there to get back and cut out the danger for sure.
En Olga Hayes. Adi. Zo is alleen een Gallagher. Nog Tulgen Hayes in de Gallagher en rest. Palma Ross, ik van Schuul. Ross. Harish. Ganegi Shacha. Op eentje heeft teruggeloor. Erekin. Fijne servator is in de paal. Skanjal. Voor je Gallagher gaan de vast Schuul. Agus Ganegi, shot the shores, McCann, there's on the ball in Ganilian. You could tell from her reaction here, Kelly, that Natalie Ross thinks she should have done better. She's right in front of the goal.
Yeah, I thought so at first. I felt like, you know, she's almost taken too much time. It looked like it lingered for a while at the back post there, and that's maybe what's put her off. And then actually seeing the replay there, I think it's actually bounced at an awkward height. But initially I thought that's got to be buried in. But, you know, on reflection, I think it was a bit of an awkward one there. But yeah, Celtic back to, you know, getting crosses in. I think that's the first one from outfield play that they've managed to get in, and they're a big threat when you allow that. So those crosses need to be prevented from the wide areas there.
They've tried it a couple of times, Gallagher peeling off one side, Lafersky peeling off on the other, but you're right, that is the first time they've actually managed to get it together with pass and timing of the run and avoiding the offside flag.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not like them. Usually, you know, that's their big threat. I also think you see Gallagher coming in deeper and maybe Addy going in behind as well, which is interesting to see. So that's a nice rotation of play. But yeah, you know, first cross of the game for me arguably should have been a goal.
Seerdrip met de Gishu. Celtic met de Saku. Billy Hutchison de Walner de pen is ook nog eens. Le Chia Tuil. Die gaat er een hier in deze zijn show. Ze zijn dus in de midden weer eens gemeeneerd. Are Pauline McDonald de Haring. Ze skippig, ze tuig skippig ook. Voor is 3 gitters aan komen naar Australië als camp training. We zagen het en ik heb begin dat de naast het al. Alappe, maar aan hem geraakt. Dan kan ik goed naar Hassings en dan in de Pelek. Kavanagh. Ball na bheith sin bh Clúi Craig. Idir le Fersky. McEnany. Sinna cínteach in níomig ógal bhí sinna chluiche. By nóchas ógal bhí gníci go mála amach ach. Sin do láthart. Hansen. Le Fersky fiechan bhí go tfuipe. Ross go hógal ar ríise Celtics. Kavanagh. Téimach go ganna trí sua dhéana ar bhálar son éon fa smach. Ross ar ard, Gallagher, Gorsten Nuas. Broderick, cyn i'r ffalot go brin gyda's i cael ei clach yn ôl. Gagel y Sean Clwy Craig gyn i fi ond y cwys cafag fe Bailey Hutchison Jenny Ceidrach na gen i gyr y fal y chlwych ar Ashgo Logan. Os ydyn hwrwm dy go brin pwchtig Suez bygan. Suez gwyliach slig yn y ffarg. Ross Qatar yn garage bygan i sy'n le. Ili Shore. Gallagher fiach in le Fersky eens. Fasua hier is in. Ag is Yimig sin in Cars Black. Toch sheening gemacht Cass. She did what she needed to here, Amy Black, just getting the touch.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, that's a critical touch, you know, regardless it's going out for a corner, she does what she needs to do, and that's defend. So, yeah, important touch there to allow her team to settle back in. 2 players prior to that for Aberdeen diving in on Celtic players and resulting in the corner.
We've been east. Stabbed on. Celtic mi holled til Cheval vel. Nu had the fehu ball. Fehu er ball duur. Had go mache sin. Gishik Celtic moeis en Norjan. Fiach vi kleselle holt in moeire sport finish nis shin de focus. Op er een Kenya fall afgeta. Ross. Achter McEnany. Do English. Kriegen van de Jeriger hon. Zijn Lisa McCann. Utje macher hon. Hier is op er eentje of Gillior. Er Sunshine. Aberdeen withstanding the pressure again, Kelly. I'm not sure what the problem with the ball is there. I don't think Celtic have been happy with the ball, despite us using about 6 of them since the kick-off.
I think they were complaining whether it was pumped up enough is what the impression I got. But yeah, from the corner there as well, you know, nothing really come off it. Well defended. I think Aberdeen need to stay switched on though for that second phase of play, because we know how ruthless Celtic can be. But you can see the likes of like Craig and Kelly almost diverting the whole Aberdeen defence to the front post that leaves Caitlin Hayes open at the back. So they've got to watch that as well.
Thompson's Kavanagh and Michaeli mee in de parkischen. Amy Black, who is alleen, Clwy Craig. Zijn Kogenig Geniemigikaun de Gerishin. Hij is hem niemig, met Q, Chataraini, Satorsten Grom te Gopereen, via wie. Rotte kunnen groeger, hoe is het Noshan? Nu kun je de les Celtic en je Tarunje, hoort ze mij hosk, ik gaan zich in de vaak aan de Jack. Stewart. Gamas is Jack in de Cass en de Hutchison. Hayes laat je door hier door en de kamer van de Walen. Hutchison. Oké, je geen Jack er een druurachke. Gaat voor in je bulog. Isje le Chevale. Ach, Shishin Harakage. Gaan het doen. We zijn zo'n bal in de Jack. Gaan je Ach, Thompson. Er wordt de Gamas Q. Celtic in je val af. The first skin is go hook out. You see van Black, I have fair in the classic Kavanagh. Kavanagh goal. Toru in je Natalie Ross, Cal Furchin there. Nach de gluching pass, van Roynjan, go Ross, van Roynjan, go McEnany. Gallagher. Goedje mag. Wat er één keer willen ze vallen. Broderick. Lewis Connell in the park. Craig, Lewis come in the park. Lish. Was Trud Hichke. Ross Fenbeck and Roman Norsen, Laferski. Kapuchtiger Ashkata, Amy Black, Jenny Manahoy, Yacha, Laferski in Shirachontek. Black, Rigorstach, Hanning. Ball Magan of Vian. Uin Shaw Gadi. Corner, Celtic, Chiki Ganua, Spulochi. Truppelchen to go per in. Kelly, it looks as if Amy Black's maybe struggling a wee bit. Certainly, Kit Laferski turned her really quite easily then and maybe could have done better with the cross.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I think she gets knocked off the ball up at the other end of the pitch, and she takes a sore one on her hip and kind of jogs back, and she was struggling to tuck in there. So I'm not sure how she's doing just now.
Commission Suler. Corner to Celtic. McKinney Lish. Stuart Vaughan, who are account finishing to go per een. Is le 3 tuil. Kan de skipping in het heesen. De skutter me gebruiken naar Aske. Kuim je mag. Maal van Hull. Ik geheen. Hij is gehoord. Dus Nadine Hansen kan wel zo laten. Gee, kan wel zo laten. Gee, is de vaak. Ze tripletje zo. Ik. Dan de Hansen ha. En dan mag ik. Hansen hou naar hier is. Am naver is genanik Kas. He's in Noah's on the Rotican. Gorst, high rasher the Cassin, and you shouldn't ripple at your hand. It looked like a painful one, thankfully no great damage done, but when there's lots of bodies going up for the ball, sort of anything can happen on the way back down again.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Aberdeen are throwing their bodies on the line there and making it really difficult for Celtic. I think Nadine Hansen does well just to put off the player. Got a sore thumb there, but I'm sure she can play on with a sore thumb.
Isn't the see? I think both Gover and Hansen trying to challenge Hayes for the ball. I'm not sure that they are really sort of double teaming on her, but they know that they can't let her have a free header or even a free jump.
Yeah, I think, whatever it takes. I think Celtic's deliveries are outstanding into the box there. So, almost putting it on a plate for attacking players for Celtic there. So, yeah, if you have to double up, that's what you do. And so far, so good for Aberdeen in that respect.
Celtic weer mag ruimischen. Laferski's Craig vegen we kloetje mag van de goal ze rood. Dacht van zo het Laferski's hier wat bekruim. En merk ik nog. Gehoord zag het. En zo. Met terug hoog heen. Is een hele. Apolline Nikonjert. Hanke skippig voor hier die te kalappen. Eens Hutchison van de skippige show ik op er één. Wanneer McKinney die kutje ook er gaan scoren in van Celtic. Jenny Smith er een veenkie nu. Zeg je. Goed genoeg hier skippig echt er een in stil naar mij. McKinney niet check. Smith blion naar het. Een glue of tuchtje misschien. Dat is de kassen niet genischt. Als het maar Broderick, le Unie, scoren Unie zijn via met passen enig. Via misschien enteren alleen niet en Celtic ervat. We kregen de pennis Huggers en Shore a location. Kelly, Celtic really struggling to get the passing together. It's probably true of Aberdeen as well, but you would expect Celtic to be a bit sharper, a bit more clinical with their work.
Yeah, actually, that was exactly what I was thinking myself. I feel like they're not moving the ball quick enough and it's allowing Aberdeen to tuck back in. Aberdeen look really organised, really up for it. 50-50s, they're competing as well. So Celtic really need to, as I say, start moving the ball a little bit quicker and get Aberdeen working.
Black. Het Riemacher ruims het Reunen geheen in Noorsen. Walder Glamach. En de merk nog even. Sure. Mr. Hutchison. Murray. Rashko. Thompson. Sure in is gochlige machen al even glie. Jacha farroat ikiuri geta. Ten Lancaster gaan je la see oor se mich rasterud. Nose en nul. Siach door doen, cornje, study, Karakamach. Chloe Craig, fiach hem goed huis alleen nishtje McEnany. Gaat bepalen waar hij van, was het Celtic de zaarte de vaart geries, Black. Dus vind je dat er voelje was in de hoer is togen, genieren se koju. Smakken wil, or het hoor op het ringspecial. Het hoor, een goede chintje is al even gelijk Celtic. Bal doin. Verski van de hoer hikke va man gluutje in de schacher de cool de kutjok. Men naver is nach Dori. Kust te geven Jean. Would you have been better leaving this for the player coming in at the back post? Yes, if she gets a shout, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. You don't know what you can't hear anything from up here, but yeah, potentially. But I think again, Aberdeen do enough to limit the attacking chance there. I think. You know, again though, another cross in the box for me too easy. Francesco was beaten very easy down the left by McEnany and a cross into the box as well. So it's equally as important for the wider players at Aberdeen to nullify those crosses. And for me, that was far too easy. Lucky it didn't turn into anything and collected quite comfortably by McCann.
Adi, vriemach a ruime jintjes na huis van Juel. Broderick, who's a line Elish. Lou. He's like Count, or actually, you see Craig has it, but Gary Jerry, in high Kuharivo, Kelly Clark, Stewart, coming and follow boy, but Mogulvik Murray, Gashua, Snowden is going me Black. Goed er op een keer in ballen. Ferris Craig, bal ma van Lekian, Suska Kavanagh, Cormishaw Gallagher, Susanishka Kavanagh, Rish, Laferski first Hul, Balma, McCann Gahamela Macharekin, Laferski Rish, Nish, Kavanagh. McCann, Bar Korak Stoche, Mahuri Kal, Huri Kilor, Barnarekin Rish, Renny Gnoicher, McCann, Celtic Rebiogelishin. Terug voor Hayes get that. Kavanagh. Suaska McEnany. Ja, gaan wij ook alweer hier fijn. Corner of the Shach, corner of Celtic. Before we get the corner, maybe a quick look at these, Kelly. I think there's a couple of saves, I think, from McCann. She does really well just keeping her eye on that under pressure.
Yeah, I think, you know, Laferski actually, she almost jumps and floating in the air and has to try and adjust to get the shot away. But McCann does really well on both occasions.
Really getting into the last toch. Ross. Here's Gallagher, a spot to finish. Kelly Clark, a goal maken voor het goede hand. Clark, ja, gaan we chanten. Gaan je kloei over als een lekker lijn nu. Over de zoeken. Gaan we Gallagher vastgeet. Jullie short gaan maar. Savaltje wuipen. Slikker de scholen maar. It was better attacking play from Celtic there though in the lead up to the corner. Well worked from even from Chloe Craig's defensive header and then Kavanagh and Gallagher out on the left-hand side here, using the space that was given to them.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we know that's where Celtic's threats are in the wider area, and just slightly more composure in that final third, and link up play with the midfield too, and the two up front as well. So yeah, as you say, a good defensive header there from Craig to kick things off, but that's what we need to see more of from Celtic if they're going to get anything from this in the first half.
Minutes in de machine. Rigol. Schach get paper ach. Toch een chick negage het zo. Ga je gerust toch kimi minutje varakker. Kini is gaan die nu kimi kerskelo. Van Nadine Hansen naar de laag gefapt zijn. Zo laaf kost dus een kusteweil goede kusen hier is getap. Unieke lores en tuurschach tuutol en zo. Dan gaan we 3, dan met die eski. Je stokker met jullie kus. Klaar, goalkeeper mag van alleen Gian. Via me woon jullie horschen Jijele. Hij is al fatalisch gedaan. Hoe is alleen Broderick. Zijn kindje straks een glotje mag. De eerste keer pas geworden. De eerste keer. Kassen geskippeld tegen Gallagher, zo gevaar. Mijn Broderick Marschen, ik kan maar heen. Er was er vluchter, bal terug maken, want ik heb vaak een harmonie Celtic. Thompson, is kapuchtig net ruim, lijkt Kavanagh. Ik heb een volle SWPL de rated it. Het is veel gegriest. Te go op 1. As the halves wore on, I mean, when things started the game, Aberdeen threatened the edges of Celtic's box a wee bit, but as the halves gone on, they have been slightly pushed deeper and deeper in the game. That's not something they want to happen, but it's hard to avoid it, really.
Yeah, I think that's quite natural. I think Celtic will find their rhythm. I just don't think they've started the game very well there, but yeah, Aberdeen, you know, they need to stay switched on. There was an opportunity there where a cross has come in the box and Aberdeen centre midfielder ambling back into the box. That's not good enough. Like, second phase is where they need to remain switched on, and as you say, as they're pushed deeper by Celtic.
Gallagher en Ashke Clark. En Stewart via me. Bal ik er je, je ziet hij zeg hoe het ieder goedje mag en online is. Hij is dus alleen. Maar ik ga er gemaakt zijn gedaan. Eva Thompson. Ik ga hem op rijden is. Clinton Lancaster. Keurig bal net zat je weer een goedje zelfie. Maar er is alleen een keurig smeetjig ze. Smeetjig net de kaarten nikke. Correct een kapuchtige maken. Ferris Glorgen de manager kan wel niet dat. Ogilvy, go Hutchison. Hees. Bal die nog. Gelachje dat er het daar gaat. Ross, Rash, Clark, skipper. Came the guy who was er Varklish. McEnany. Namens Varklish of all of us. Krieg. Rash, Chloe Logan. Kelly, we saw a second ago. Kelly Clark just getting really frustrated, and I'm sure it was Maria McEnany at the receiving end of it. They are getting kind of annoyed, the back three of Celtic, with how much time they're having to spend on the ball.
Yeah, I think that's it, you know.
Heb ik me vision, stokken me haast, McEnany van die hier, goed trainen, Gallagher een keertje nou. Schaporingi, dan mag ik een mag zo op een fijn aslish. Sorry, Kelly, we get interrupted by the football. Nice for it to happen.
Yeah, no, I think I can understand the frustration. You know, they're trying to target these wide areas, but I actually think Ogilvy and Black are actually doing quite well. And out here, and the same on the other side. Gover and Broderick are coping quite well, so there needs to be other options in the middle for Celtic. I think we've seen early on nice rotations, but they need to mix up a little bit.
McCann is er nogal fatte le cheval of Asho. Wel Asho mag van de goal. Ogilvy, even naar Amerika. Hutchison. Die maken in Nickel haar. She is such a competitive character, Bailey Hutchison. I was watching the warm-up earlier and she almost threw a strop because the decision went against her in just the wee touch games they were playing. Oh, Machka corner. Yeah, you can see it though, just she fights for everything, always wants the ball.
Yeah, she's very, very competitive. I know from playing that with her, which I actually really like, in training. Everything counts, and you need that because then you take it on to games like today. And I actually thought that was a really soft free kick. I thought she did brilliant to shield the ball. And, I think it was maybe Chloe Craig that's just bounced off her. I thought it was quite a soft free kick, to be honest. But yeah, very competitive player, Bailey.
Corner. Jag Celtic aan Kuyunish, Hutchison, Marvalogy en Schindler en Elise McCann. Kan wel gaan de vallen boypen. Oh, Farfast. Gaan jullie nu dunje kwaliteit edition. Bal heen, 20 van de park. Adi. Oh, Farfast er is. Natalie Ross er is. Lischedal. Daig het minnetje de gloch. Tuil er goed, Celtic. Natalie Ross van de Hoere Tuil, Celtic. Strijk even bos de woord, ik daar hoor, te beste pikken jikken. Ach wat zien, kuju. Farfast, hij is een Noorse kalkugerasje in Wien. Adi, van was je. Wat du ligt er is jaar. Als je zeker Chloe kregen wel. Oh, Farfast er is. Aberdeen was sort of riding their luck here, but eventually, Kelly, the pressure told and the ball goes in off the head of Chloe Craig.
Yeah, I think Aberdeen are potentially claiming for an offside. I couldn't actually tell on that highlights there anyway, but yeah, Celtic, well, it's the first cross that's come in that Aberdeen haven't dealt with, and then it almost goes in. So it just goes to show that they need to be winning those. And then the second one as well, you've hit the post twice, so third chance you've got to be putting that away, and Chloe Craig gets on a plate. So unfortunate for Aberdeen, but yeah, great shot from Addy there as well to come off the post, and I don't think McCann had a chance at that, and then it sits up nicely for Craig, as I say. So Celtic will be happy with that, I think, going in at half-time.
Once the ball comes off the post twice, you're kind of all over the place defensively. As was I was determined that was Natalie Ross who'd got the header. It was clearly Chloe Craig in the end, but it is hard. You can't just reset yourself every time.
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought it was Ross that had scored, but you're right, it must just be the hair colour. But it's come off the post. I think everyone's turning left to right, not knowing where it is, and it's bouncing around. And yeah, it's as you say, you've hit the post twice, so you'd expect a goal the third time.
Khalid Kavanagh. Really short. Kornstaller rival of Amy Thompson, Kafak Yunisht. Selim Ganur in bal is in. Natalie Ross zit de pennis nog mee in de park. Ganur in bal. Even Thompson. Guri. Klucht daar kutje kerskelior. Thompson has er laar. Ja. Daar ben het skelier die goal. Dat zie je het leest. Ook al komen op er één bal gerhuis. In de vuurtjes haast. De Pachot. Nadine Hansen en Goza. Adi, who is a line against Leferski, Ferriska Broderick. Op de goeie paas Ferriska daar, Suki Shachata. Leferski, krijgt weer vallen op Broderick en is. Ja, Mejerigal, Qatar en Karash. She, Mani Adi, ik roe naar Peugeot. Say Fiach and Yashachar of all the shot. I think if we watch this, Kelly, we see the goal. Manny Addy has totally just turned her back on play. She thinks she didn't even know they'd scored. She was just cushing her luck.
I didn't even notice that, but she's probably a bit miffed that her shot's not gone in and come off the post, and I think the natural reaction is to react to your own shot. I didn't even notice that either, but yeah.
Corner at home. Celtic, de sugar ballen liggen de zeggen niet bij. Het is dan voor corner gaan. En dan weer de set piece van Anneke Tolk. Het nog pampierig. En hier het goede Hanneke. He's reached. Celtic Fask is in. Wordt ik een Ian Vriesjes aan daar de touwlijn. Gallagher kan er bien. Breintje nog geen er van af. Chicken we go. Doelen is 7 minuten verder. Zijn heel goede schaks op nul. Adi, zoals alleen Galaferski. Akademie is een fuifkes. Adi kutje in de verhaal de schak Broderick. Kermisjo Gallagher. Oh, verre vast. Oh, zie de goed vastgezien. Gallagher op skanjel. Happy Noors in Celtic, goed daar hulder horsig. Laverski, kan goed je raas Gallagher, spij gewoon vastgezien. In de narne tolen. Alweer wel mager het heeft. Gezet de schach, Gallagher vastger. Tjich teul gaan deze. Komt toch riesket naar groot. Ik Celtic Pelogike, Manglu, Vasker. Gaat er wel Magarisch op eentje nog voor een pinraast. Hij is een schachet, er zijn hier 3 gasten nu in de game. Op een er beetje nu maar. Je moet eruit, van de voorgoed. In de hier Fran Alonso, Javier Torres, Gerrit maar Celtic er bij kloetje. Natalie Ross Curm de ga kloei kreeg hoe een neutolen wakken je zich hier leeg. Maar kun je skialach ilje naar doorrat. Ietsje kloetje maar wegen de kiori Celtic. Gaan de passie in het ook kassen maar wegen het nul. Gaan kuisen geschoelig kiar, klentzag maar even de nog eens in de valkoschachke. Op een is je wakke kolaatje. Het joeltige woordgoed te gormen. Celtic. Ik gaan houden. Maar van een kutje op je nog kus. Roep kussen van elkaar. Die echt slim ha. Het gaan je morgen nou op een Johnny. Celtic heen.
Game chown ik niet dus ik leeuwje ha laven noker ik Celtic. As in de bunnik ik niet dus hun ge Johnny. Kelly, it's been a bit of a strange game there, a bit of a game of chess at times. But what have you made of the first half overall?
Yeah, I don't think that it was maybe one that I expected. I think Celtic have been a bit sticky. They've not really got into the swing of things. But equally, I think Aberdeen have defended against their biggest threats, and that's crosses in the box. So they've dealt with a number of corners really well. And it's just unfortunate there that last kind of phase of play that, you know, Celtic have sneaked a goal in and a great time for them going in at half time.
Yeah, it's maybe a bit of a strange one as well for Clinton Lancaster. It'd be interesting to know what he's thinking, because he's probably disappointed to be going in a goal behind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a draw would have been probably a more deserved scoreline. Obviously, Celtic have had more of the chances, and then, as I've just said in commentary there, they've hit the post twice, and at the third opportunity, you're taking it, are you? So that's exactly what they've done. But for Aberdeen, no, they can't be too disheartened by that. I think they've defended very, very well, and, they've not given Celtic too much time on the ball.
Well, you mentioned there the Celtic chances. The first one they had in the game was Natalie Ross. It was a ball in, and she probably should have done a wee bit better with it. She came in at the back post, but just talk us through it. What do you remember?
Yeah, initially I thought the same. I thought, she's overthought it. She's got so much time here, but actually in the highlights, it's actually coming in at a really difficult angle. But I was the same as you. I was anticipating her, burying that as a goal.
And you see there, it was Amy Gallagher who's crossing the ball in. Her and Kit Lefersky have been so effective this season in front of goal. It's probably good for Clinton Lancaster that they're out here actually crossing the ball in, and they're not the ones actually in the box.
Yeah, I think so. They're your biggest goal threat, and if they're getting drawn out wide, putting the crosses in, then you're wondering who's in at the back post. In that occasion, it was Natalie Ross, but yeah, absolutely. They're Celtic are having to adjust because Aberdeen are nullifying their play. So yeah, absolutely, it's not a bad thing seeing them out wide.
After a few more chances over Celtic, the goal did eventually come, and it was a bit of a strange goal. Maria McEnany with the corner in, it hit the post, and then it hit the post again, and eventually Chloe Craig bundles it in.
Yeah, and I think, huge credit to Ade. She curves it in with her left foot. Yeah, here it is, and it comes off the post, and then, I think Aberdeen are a bit all over the place. I think everyone is, not where it's going, hitting two off the post twice, and then it's on a plate for Chloe Craig to put away.
Do you think Celtic will be slightly relieved to have gotten that goal? Because throughout that half, okay, they were coming into it more and more, but they were struggling at times.
Oh, definitely. I think, for them to go in a goal up here, I don't think they've had any clear-cut chances. I think obviously arguably Ross at the back post on that previous occasion, but yeah, you're taking that all day long if you're Celtic, because I don't really think they've kicked on in this game at all, and I think words will be had at half-time from Fran, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then it was even better from a Celtic point of view. They nearly doubled their lead right at the death there at the end of the first half, and it was Amy Gallagher. She hit that post. I mean, that post has been very busy in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, she's, as we've just touched on, she's always going to be a threat. I think actually the line's been flagged for offside. Aberdeen stop, which is what they absolutely can't do. And Gallagher's free at the edge of the box, away to take a shot, and he comes off the post again. Very unlucky, but you cannot give her a minute, on the ball. So she'll take them, and she'll be disappointed with that's not gone in.
Absolutely. Well, y dras hashing yn tol y chleinjyn fo yn y clich y tryn haddi fi clich ac mi yn y parc the Celtic ydw. Siogwydd Colette Kavanagh. Colette, how much are you enjoying your time at Celtic so far?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving being back with the girls, being back within the club. It's been a very good start to the season and something that we're looking to build on.
Why the move back to Celtic?
I think it was a no-brainer after last season. From talking to Fran, David and Michael, sounded as if they trusted me. They had confidence in me and they were willing to give me a chance, and that's something that I didn't have at all last season. He was just saying, you're too good to be sitting on the bench, and even just to hear those words meant so much to me, especially last season. It was draining, being on the bench all the time, and no matter how hard I tried, it wasn't enough. I was told I wasn't good enough to even sit on the bench. How
tough a time was that? Is that maybe the lowest it's been for you in your playing career?
Yeah, definitely. It was my first year in professional football, and I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be competitive, but I was just never given the chance. No matter how hard I worked, it wasn't enough, and that's just football. Some coaches like you, some coaches don't. It's just how you react to that, and I feel like I'm proving them all wrong now. I'm enjoying my football again, and you can see that with my performances on the park.
You've crossed that Glasgow divide a few times now. It might raise a few eyebrows to some people. Just tell us what it was like for you.
Yeah, I knew I was going to get abuse for it. From the Rangers girls, from the Celtic girls, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to go under the radar. The women's game's grown so much over the past few years. We've got girls who have played for Rangers and then went to Celtic and vice versa in recent years, but since the women's game was so small, they got no abuse. But when I moved, it was obviously in the spotlight, which was fine. I can deal with that, and I make a joke out of all of it. But I've been booed by the Rangers fans already, and for me, that was probably the best feeling I've ever felt in football. They probably think it's the worst, but it was amazing, and to create that atmosphere within the women's game is brilliant. It wasn't hostile, it was actually fun, and I think that's something that we've not had in the women's game.
Just tell us about the Champions League experience, just your overall sort of thoughts on it.
It was a roller coaster. You go, as I say, you go from high to low so quickly in football, and that was probably the biggest high and the lowest low that we felt in a long time, and we're still hurting from it. We were so close again. Again, we performed so well against a top team who we'll see how they do in the rest of the competition, but for us, that was a sore one to take. But to win against Brøndby, who were in the quarterfinals of the Champions League a few years ago, to win against them, to be the better team in the second half against them, shows the development in the women's game in Scotland. I don't think Scotland was there in terms of Europe, but we performed really well and we were so close to going further.
You've scored a few goals so far this season. That must be great for you. You must be delighted with that.
Yeah, I am happy, but I feel like they have been tap-ins, so I'll take it for now, but I know myself that I want to contribute a lot more to the game, and whether that be an assist or another goal, then I'll be happy with that.
When you compare your first time with Celtic to where the club is now, how has it changed?
It's changed massively. I think you can just see with the performances and the people that they're bringing in. Obviously, back in, I think it was 2019 I was here, there wasn't that much budget. It wasn't professional at that time. I think we were offered like expenses a month and they wouldn't cover anything. But for now, the budget's amazing, the coaching's top level, and the club are really supporting the girls now. And you can, as I say, you can see that with the results. The girls won the Scottish Cup last year. They were so close to winning the league. So every year it's getting better, and I just hope that this year is the year for Celtic.
Sinna gaibh maha Colette Kavanagh into na cluichearin ag Celtic. Tála ra them huv adrasa Colady, Kelly Forrest Hart, Lauren Campbell. Lauren, thanks so much for joining us here pitchside at halftime on BBC Alapa. We want to chat to you about your retirement in Aberdeen, but firstly we just want to reflect on that VT there with Colette Kavanagh. And I'll start with you, Kelly. It's great to see Colette back playing again. She of course played last season at Rangers, but she's back again now at Celtic and enjoying her football.
Yeah, I think obviously, you know, she's been slightly disappointed maybe at the game time that she didn't get at Rangers, but it seems like she's, you know, got into the Celtic squad and settled in very well. And yeah, she's a really exciting player, and I think at every club she's been with in this league, she's been instrumental. She's tenacious, and for me, she's always a threat going forward too. She likes a shot from anywhere.
Yeah, and of course both of you have played against her. Lauren, what type of player is Colette, and what's she like to come up against?
Yeah, I think like Kelly says, like Hibs, not so much game time at Rangers, at Celtic, aggressive, can score worldies. I think we've all seen that when she lets rip their normally top bins, but she's just very hard working, great team player. I think that suits Celtic really, really well, especially today, her and Natalie Ross just prowling about midfield, just constant work ethic from Cav, so glad to see her get game time here at Celtic. Absolutely,
and of course we're hearing from there Colette talking about the Champions League. Of course, Celtic lost out in that second leg second match, I should say, against Vålerenga. Just bitterly disappointing circumstances to go out in.
Yeah, it's penalties, isn't it, that they went out on? But again, they've improved on last season. They won the first game, obviously 1-0 with a brilliant Kelly Cartlow, and then they go into the next leg. So it's probably unfortunate they've gone out on penalties, but I think they'll see it as an improvement on last season, and I'm assuming they'll be a target in Champions League spot, if not first place this season. So again, hopefully then they go a step further next year.
Absolutely, and I want to talk to you now, Lauren, about your retirement. Of course, you hung up the boots a few months ago at the end of last season. What's life like at the side of the pitch now, not being out there?
Yeah, I get asked this question everywhere I go at the moment. Actually really enjoying retirement. For me, it was the right time, just a year after Kelly, but Aberdeen are headed in the right direction. It's going full time. I obviously hold down a full-time job, so for me it was the right time. Not aggrieved at all. I come to every game as a fan now, and starting getting involved in opportunities like this, so yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. Thanks.
Well, delighted you're with us. And of course, Kelly, you were a year ahead of Lauren. You retired just over a year ago. Are you missing it at all?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, obviously, love playing football, but, it was that kind of, as I say, football-life balance when we were playing. You had to weigh up, life out with football. So, a lot of people ask me the same question, and me and Lauren have spoken about this a lot. There's other stuff, that we wanted to do in life, and as we say, we're still coming along as fans every week. So it's great, and it's great to see the team doing really well this year.
I want to ask you both as well, from an Aberdeen perspective, because it is slightly different from other clubs in Scotland, because the club relies so much on youth players, and we see today in abundance that the quality that's coming through the youth academy in Aberdeen, but it must be very difficult recruitment-wise here.
Yeah, I think, we were saying at the start, there's 7 of the starting 11 that have come through Aberdeen's, youth pathway. So it's very important. And Aberdeen don't have the luxury of pulling players on loan from like maybe Celtic or Rangers like the other clubs do in the league. So it's really important that Aberdeen focus on their youth structure. Their strategy is completely different to other clubs, and, huge emphasis on their youth development.
Looking ahead to the second half, Lauren, myself and Kelly were just talking there about, that first half. Of course, Celtic 1-0 up at the moment. But what do you think Clifton Lancaster will want his players to be doing in the second half?
To be honest, I thought Aberdeen started very well in the game, and unfortunate time to concede not so long before half time. But 1-0, it's not a big scoreline, and Aberdeen have Bailey Hutch that are constant on the threat. Like, we're never out the game if Bailey Hutch is playing on the back line. So I wouldn't take much from 1-0. I would say the same again. I think they've done really well holding their shape, frustrating Celtic. It's just that link up. I think maybe find feet to the strikers and let Bailey Hutch and Hannah Stewart link up front to release Bailey. And if Bailey goes through 1-on-1, it's an equaliser.
We can have a quick look now at the other games that are going on at the moment. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, Glasgow City winning 6-0 against Dundee United, and Montrose, after winning through the week on Wednesday, their first league win of the season, losing 12-0 to Rangers. It must be very difficult for those two sides going up against, Aberdeen doing very well here today to hold Celtic, but that's just the harsh reality sometimes of this league, and you see those big scorelines.
Yeah, I think for me, even the start of this game, I think, as I'm an Aberdeen fan, pleasantly surprised by their performance, because they've held Celtic off right until the 43rd minute. But yeah, some of the results that we're seeing here this week is probably one Montrose will want to forget.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll let you head back up to commentary just now, Kelly, and thank you so much again, Laura, for joining us here at half time. Ag said, dáman is all that. Guanach Adish, Derek Mackay.
Tábla to Vigel, sé hart a cursi at Partick Thistle loch Marasa, Ishun. Had it Misul Karster the game has, but me Klish me grafin me could you get a good for the park at Partick Thistle. Vajetsen as a headavach toshach a law a hart as in Hakavach. Ach she a hen rain hart to who's Partick Thistle. Harove, then you cheer gach get a vark. Had the game. Could you? I did you cheer get a shit vark go brain, I guess Celtic. And ish, I guess at Tishal or some Toshach in darn late basketball Maravad. Like 4 Hoshach a game. Really Hutchison, ik kan nooit te go brain. Karin we nog torgen nou, maar Hannah Stewart goed is een konderuach maar 3 ka. Cheach cheach is achterich in de stenen. Maar goed je gestaan in de park. Van wo Celtic kan gaan kujoketa. Har kust de smach gach de game. Dat is hier het ach meerig, vakelior de gonnerstach geharach van corneren. Maar zo'n hol was een 1 sam van corneren hanika, maar gonnection. Bulliger vast duur. Maar zag ik klooi kreeg gerustjag het van misschien miljoen jaskere. Dat is was van gaan je het ik kollig geel, gaan je dat gewoon kollig zijn waar ook. Kan niet skal. Klooi kreeg wel. Is er wel een raast, is je Krieg wie müssen den Hölder in diesen sind nicht. Kooktuil in deze moeilijke leer. Hees. Tor ruimig genischt. Zo is Gallagher. Heb naar het hol heen. Hees got Addy. We willen vast heen. Horsachar an Hulk Creek. Glue. Oh, Kushna Fuskaligi. Gallagher took a hammer of the Shakata. Hills Kavuya Hanikson. Gallagher Kastatkata. The unique in the Shik Manglu Ervalde. Broderick is nul. I guess Chunakeen Jach Nakangi and Bal the Shach. Staat de Shagavanic Celtic. Mane Adi is in nul hieke. Het ook los het dank het. Tot je te kindje kun je even daar hakken te kijken hou. En is tegen koerstel te hij kol zat de Shach. Shen Manglu. Adi is in een van Murray, hoe is het Gorst, Ross, Gastaple Eli Shore, Annika voor Thompson, Kuchoki Games, Kasse in je Valles, Reinischen. Hoe is alleen Games die Stewart, gaat truppeltje zo ook Phoebe Murray, gaat de Erigi Faralaar haast. Got a bit of a sore one here, Phoebe Murray. I think in that attempt to clear, I think she gets just a bit of a whack in the process.
Yeah, definitely. It looked a really sore one. She's gone to clear the ball and essentially just kicked the bottom off Addie's foot there. It looks a real sore one, and she's not got up off the ground since it's happened. So hopefully it's just a knock that she can maybe run off.
She's had a good game. I mean, you know, her first start, I think it's her first start for Aberdeen, certainly this season. She's only, I think, 15, 16. She hasn't looked out of place in midfield.
No, absolutely not. She's been, you know, tenacious in the middle and obviously stuck to the game plan that you can see kind of echoing throughout the team, that is, don't give Celtic time on the ball, and she's come in and done that, and she needs to just, you know, win the ball back and keep it simple. But absolutely doesn't look out of place, and for being 15 in your first start of the season against Celtic, it's a good challenge.
It would have been an interesting week. She'd have been half expecting to play against Kilmarnock in the Development League yesterday, but instead she's here against, you know, a team full of international players.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's up against the likes of Natalie Ross, an extremely experienced player, and yeah, she doesn't look out of place, as we've said. So yeah, stepped up to the challenge.
Dus nog eens Gemirash, dan doen je kunnen we vatten. Even Urikor, even me verhunischt, ket chillig. Shouldn't hij feintje. Dat is veel misule hort sporter. Shen Manglu. Hij komt qua gorst haas geta. Dat kaas Phoebe Murray. En dan zeggen wij de man Adi. Bal de Jungs Stewart. Dat ga je hier de bekken McInerney. Camel Bishaloinish in le Fran Ogilvie, Rijn Mahan door het. Door te gaan McInerney er geen Shachatorre. Is toch een plot Croeres. Dag. Ga je klug erop rijden hier. Smaak Camel door het. Fersky, yeah, it is less way to the Duvsip. Any changes in either side you've noticed, Kelly? It seems to be a pretty similar approach from both teams for the second half.
Yeah, no, I don't think there has been any changes. I felt like at the end of the first half, though, Aberdeen maybe went into a bit of a behaviour that they tend to do when they lose a goal and they get a bit panicky. So actually maybe the half-time did come at a good time for them to settle the nerves and get, you know, keep the ball again and keep possession. There's always that risk after losing a goal with a younger team, especially, that, you know, they start to panic and get on each other's cases. But so no, I don't think any changes. It seems to be a good matchup for both teams. I wonder what's to come. I do think there will be changes, but so far nothing obvious.
Kavanagh out. Really short. Kelly Clark clip again. Unya sin chick na gaigi heen. Pas man o'r sy'n gael Craig. I gyrash chynysgipar. Gwst y rwy'n unig Clark ysioch yr wolf yr asg y clwy Logan. A dy trwy'n ymwysyn gyda trwy'r gobrain pwysig yr Stewart, Hutchison agos Thompson. Gag sydd yn o'r sy'n rwy'n mig Kavanagh. Sy'n yr Erdlish, Broderick. Gach yr ymach begyn y Satche. Agos Bibi Marie y penis o hwch, si o hwch, cael cwmwrstoch y sio. Celtic yn Maghafag. Broderick bioch yn ysyn, fain i ma ysyn Jess Broderick. Mae Cymru Hare yn yfed tachart ffysig gyda go sy'n manglw. Gysyn ymach yn y ddyfsyn. Mae'n Broderick mae gyda irw. Hutchison. Ydyn ni gyr i'r adi fi ffeich gylwch ysyn. A bydd yn ystparig eich gorau. A chambrach doch sŵa sy'n gych am hawl. Gystab y Stewart. Mae cwnt gyma ceintioch sŵsyn i lasu hi ysyn. Olivia Crawford. Gyda hwgi bratoch i'r ferach. Rwy'n i'r hiadlu ein chig. Fashion ein chynoch. Galachad. He's gawr siach at Hutchison. Gacwyr ffwympi. Marika Chawl. Kavanagh nŵr at y bragein. Galachad. Ffwympi. Oh, the leash in their Celtic. Again, a couple of stray passes, but we saw, it kind of slightly reminded me of the goal that Hutchison scored against Rangers earlier in the season there, where suddenly Aberdeen had the ball in midfield, and this time it was Hutchison trying to play Stewart through. They do have that threat if they can break quickly from midfield.
Yeah, definitely, and I think teams are mindful of that, you know, especially with Bailey Hutchison. If she gets in behind your back line, I say this all the time, and I think Lauren touched on it at half-time as well. She's a big threat in there. I actually thought Hannah diverted her run to come back onside, which then slowed her down, and I didn't think she was going to make it through.
Oh, Harrison Fatter fall off. Kavanagh. By Tuchjum. Nee, hier smaak ik hem lid. Fashion. That would have been a beauty, even though she's off balance there. She'd have done well to get that on target at all.
Yeah, absolutely. She's almost made something out of nothing there, and I think Annalisa McCann knew that it was going out wide.
McCann reached. Sy'n gael ffadelish. Nio gynrwy'n y chwych gyrrych Celtic dyn y ceintioch. Na chael ag y fi fferist gael clwch ymach fy'n y chwl. To go. Hayes. Hansen. Wel Sŵahug. Feich gylwch a charain. Bylwch Maciliod. Gag I hi'n ffwympi. Kavanagh y chawl gyda ni yn y Parkinson. Stewart. Stabs Tiontig. Hutchison. Furchinoch. Jeremy Thompson. Ein ysjach. Adi. Fashion Magiridu, so it's got Ross. And the first get Chilik Bukengi. The first get toch in a line. Gayari Rashin is got Adi, Cormac Celtic is shot. Nadine Hansen, Chinamach Lane, but Adi, a cracker of love, Ike Aunach. A Shachan of Oik, Ike Koyus Elimi. Nadine Hansen, Chinamach. It's good play from Celtic down the left this time, Kelly.
Yeah, determined run there from the first game. She beats Ogilvie, and actually I think Aberdeen are caught ball watching because then the cutback's on, and you know, good block from Nadine Hansen in the end.
Hold it in je Schachlo, gaan Fuchs weg. Schachet rolt in je. Hutchison. Zijn de kindje nog een kittelen hees vastge. Staat de schach aan hand geta. Hutchison een keer de kus aan de heen is in. Sties hem goorstad. Kus voor in je leeg. Kijk als geloot. Hier is een Olke Kreeg. Ross. Nationist go Kavanagh. Van de Google wie het nu was in het al. Hoe die gaan wel de Hosher McInerney. Gamis UC Hutchison. It's maybe one thing Aberdeen do a bit too often. They know Bailey Hutchison's the threat in behind. They quite often maybe try and force a ball through to her when maybe a foot in the ball, a shorter pass might work.
Absolutely, I think Aberdeen keep the ball very well in the defensive midfield area, but it's almost like it's so predictable now if you're targeting Bailey every single time. Obviously, you know, on some occasions it can be the strategy to get in behind, but they need to mix up and also not panic in the final third. You know, they've got skillful players with Eva Thompson and Francesco who should attempt to take on some of the Celtic players. Would be a little bit more exciting than doing the same thing every time.
He's Collins Oracle Donna Patterson Gahulachug to go brain. Laferski Hansen Jenna Magiri Fuin Bivorishin Ball Kullertach Rish for Laferski Hansen Rish. She's looking quite comfortable at this centre back role, and she had to be there under great pressure from Gallagher with the ball from Laferski.
Yeah, I think Hansen does exactly what she needs to do, and that's just get rid of it. It's coming to a really dangerous area, and Amy Gallagher's right on her shoulder. Yeah, as I say, she's done exactly what she needed to do, albeit a corner to Celtic. Another potential threat, but well defended by Nadine. She reads the game very well.
Ball the Yi, she knew who she was in the role Harris to the stand, to the east. McInerney, I guess, Ross, mooie shot. Streich lucht er in Veheuken vast. Kelly Clark volgende goal. Shinashach Ganelian. You mentioned the first half how good their delivery is from corners, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah, that's poor, you know, and disappointing from a Celtic perspective. They are a threat. They've got, you know, huge threat in the box, and these are opportunities, especially being 1-0 up, that they should be absolutely relishing. And yeah, that's not a great delivery in there.
Cormillach gegen Amy Black, golfig gemaakt. Clark, Hayes, is Craig. Gechin en Streher East. 6 seconden Rikert Laferski, de sport te finish. Op er 1-5 hoor is Wukes weg. Broderick Junumashin. Corner Lewison, Paul Kujoki hier. Celtic tegen de wagerige Jäger. Ganjet Pulogas, PSG corner. Wagerige Chin in de gul. Had er 0-3 in wie. Schafinki Celtic. Wel wat je zegt gemoeid. Dus je nu is een aan van ons is David Haley de gele moe. Corner aan de Celtic u. Op een keer van dat Hansen en Wal. Smeen niet hier met de Wal als je een lint in huis er vaak. Weinig in Oorsen. Goed gekomen nu. Zat de schachelen bij zo. Dat Celtic. Aardige Gechin gaat Celtic en Huddes gedaan. Jenny Smith, Gechin, de schach in de game. Natalie Ross, Thea Falav. Hier Hietje, Smith. Smith verhuurt Tull van Kachken. En de Hart Tull. We hebben weer goed kutter, maar geef kutje kan hij wel erin. Gewoon naar beschittend hul. Getraind, dat is een Champions League. Kijk je aan hal. Gallagher, je gaat met Celtic, zo goed gaan wie eind. Ga mee hier in de ploeg, Kavanagh. Jeez, de heel goed erin hips. Komt er komen. Thompson, kacheltje maag. Op er een toon gerier, is hij heen en raas gedaan. Hayes. Shortje mag naar huis, maar niet maar. Clark, no go his. Gallagher, Shechan Vukis, Gallagher, Cormishaw. Oh, for a first. By Sula Tor or a Hage in the Shach. She nearly squeezes this in. She was asking an awful lot of herself to get this into the front post, though.
Yeah, I think she almost goes just to almost dink it over Annalise McCann there, yeah. But great run across the back line, and I think Celtic scored a similar goal on Wednesday night with Meng, Lu and Partido linking up for that goal, and I think maybe that's what Celtic needs to try and do, is try and find these gaps in between Aberdeen's back three. Yeah, very unlucky there for Amelia Gallagher, sorry.
That's one thing they haven't done very often. We've seen it from Addy a little bit, but there haven't really been many runs from midfield into the box to try and create a difficulty for Aberdeen's defensive line.
Yeah, I don't think Aberdeen's back three have looked really out of place in that respect, because a lot of the attacking plays come from the wide area. So Amy Black, Nadine Hansen and Jess Broderick are just keeping it pretty strong in the middle and as a unit. So I did say earlier on in the game it was nice to see Amy Gallagher drop in, and then you had Addy running through the back foot. So that rotations make Aberdeen think. So yeah, absolutely, Celtic need to introduce something a bit different.
Black, front of all art. Gonna first give ein. Unie Kishinishtach. Gilora go Brain Rashin Rast. Post Margin va Addy. Arul Shachatorgata. Va Brain Nogus. Korein van de sweet to the Kuach. Geroi Kikan Hal. Man Addy vol de vaste heen is hier het. Der Mr. Krieg and Hull. Gallagher. Ura Skachle. Het boerlijk is de vast. Hilliger is in Kujok. A chas hier gaan uithouden Celtic. Kreeg begin minutes in Williach slie. Zet de Celtic gepost de vorig daar van Horner McInerney's en Ocean. Van Addy Ferresier. Is maar gaan ik verder vast de reach. Kreeg is net juist en de schachelijk jou. Celtic Irvinki gave haast. Kelsey Doherty. Inje Clay, Celia Barclay, Murphy Agnew, Paula Partido, Terry Burchell, Kyle Gold, Amy Shafke, Sophie Timlin Kujok, Derek Young, Miskna Kwant. The game in you. See Repto 2 op 1. Lancaster nu begin nog tegen. Kollig plan de Hurricane. Je Jeremy Crossword ga je lesen. Nou is nog eens na. He's got paring garage. Kars voor je in mag. We zijn hier door. Chloe Gover. Chloe Gover fuse. Nee. We gaan aan de Lior. Full of chocolate. Lan het Thorn, Lan het Dagorn, de Line, Caitlin Hayes echt. Chloe Gover gaan heel jaar. John Patterson geholige gaast. Natuurlijk ook een terug weg. Celtic Kujok geholig. Als een nager Paula Partidoker ore Eline. Adi Nolgo Manglu. Adi is toch een lijne. Bal dooi McCann voor. Kan wacht kijken Savage. Skien kema. Kastig Jega schach de lijne Kujok. Drain in de daar nog een Kujok. Hier Hollis, Darcy Miller. Hele gelukkig. Kavanagh eigenlijk Krieg. Tegen shit, Schachter gaan de Gallagher. En dan Hufse. Bal mag komen Manglu. Until a Ferski, Chudizari, Shishacha, Gallagher Asiye, Gallagher Haslish, Fiachan Vichontai, McInerney, corner, op range Numa, Celtic Numa, Kujok, op range, Ach Shesif, Achke Erikin. They're really knocking on the door now here at Kelly Celtic, but Aberdeen just managed to hold them out.
Yeah, I think, as you say, Celtic are, coming at them thick and fast, and I think playing those balls in behind it. I think the ball's slightly overrunning. It's running quite quick on the surface now. But yeah, well defended by Amy Black there. I think, second phase, I thought, potentially there was a number of opportunities, but they defended it very well.
Cormilla short Celtic stochen. Oh, for a first, for Cass, can you listen to wo je hand ik zin naar hem game bio haast. Natuurlijk groot alle mag. Maar kan Januma gelach ik savage, dat gewaarlich, stok eviction de show. De hacher. Gallagher boundlische corner. Oh, I think either McCann or Hutchison or a combination of both of them just keep that out. Somehow, to be honest, I don't know yet what's happened there, to be honest, Kelly, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a squamash. I don't think either team expected it to land where it landed, and it was just one of them that first on it gets a result from it, and in that case, Aberdeen clear.
I had in the chain, Matt. Geez, to go up there, Donna Patterson, Salem Darcy Miller, the chain. Codal, yeah, Phoebe Murray, it'll yet. Amy Black, there we go, yeah. Seo na Clinton Lancaster is skrivig. Hurricane, Donna Patterson de Shach. Celtic a pain Janu Aharochian. Agnew agus Partido de Chinchach. Imagine Addis McInerney. Thorach Ruhin Ras Maha. Sean Hulton Yamalkar. Monsieur Casorichu. Bekan de Vriesig. As a goedje. As a game fiach. Hishinte Hikasishin. Ko Shari Kisuna Harachian. Clark. Craig Arashko Chloe Logan. Clark Uinish. Kavanagh Roinise. Celtic een klukje mag hem af in de goal. Ach, gaat de vara. Shore van de een bal darash. De op er één. Hansen de hoek schachata. Manglure goal gaan online verglie. Partie toch gaan online wies. Manglure. Patterson goal mag naar huis. McCann na féin het cool sin le ferskike. Gachonta hiike le Kjaun. Ach McCann reached it's a nuclear. Celtic getting back into the groove again after those changes, but McCann standing up well to that, Kelly.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think any of Celtic's chances have been massive chances. Lefersky does well to get something on that. She's so low heading it way down there, and she's good hard angle for her, but gets it on target. But again, nothing to threat McCann, which I think sums up a lot of Celtic's chances today.
Big change for Aberdeen, more than for Celtic, although Manglu's gone to one side and Partido's come in this right hand side. Donna Patterson coming on, Nadine Hansen now pushing up into midfield for the Dons.
Yeah, I think obviously Clint's wanting to use Donna's experience, and and naturally Nadine falls back into her usual position of centre midfield, and I think that makes sense. Donna's got a wealth of experience in there, and I think she's also a very, very good aerially as well. So I think Clint will be thinking that, especially as we come into the kind of latter moments of the game and potentially more corners as we're just seeing now.
Go for Farmington go up Aberdeen. Patterson goeie gezien. Ga je keren die hit. Dan cartoon je zin Kavanagh Fehu Sophia Gin Farward de sport Hanik afar a broken maketa. She's disappointed. It's a decent effort, although just a little bit high, and maybe Celtic are going to need something like that from outside the box.
Yeah, potentially. I think if they got a second tier, it would settle the nerves and maybe we start seeing a bit more free-flowing football from them. But yeah, I was just actually saying at half-time, Kavanagh, she'll shoot from anywhere, and even that far out, it's not far off, and I think you see by her reaction there that she feels the same.
There we go. The match for McCann. Manglu. Hayes. Shachater Smith. Shachater Holtenje. En mag go. Prippen mag to go Aberdeen. Do you think there's a pressure on Celtic? We saw today Celtic Rangers putting 12 on throws, totally obliterating the goal difference. They're now one ahead of Celtic on goal difference, where Celtic had been ahead leading up to that. The teams know that this might be important come the end of the season.
Yes, definitely. It's something I have noticed myself. Certainly with Celtic, when they do score in games, they're getting the ball straight at the net to go again, because. Well, if you look at the end of last season, it came down to goal difference in some respects. So, you would expect that from a team that's, a big lesson at the end of last season, unfortunately, for Celtic. But, yeah, I think, but Aberdeen's going to now be a tough place to come for teams. And I think you've seen it even when Aberdeen played Rangers away. They held their own for a while. But what Aberdeen need to watch is as we come into the last 20 minutes that they hold their own.
Manglu, Kamla Dol, down to Shachatar, Cormarie Sheke, Paul Leke. McCann in the Bialy Gebal, it's in Shachatar Gefostoi, I guess. Manglu, there's a Narnik Amstray Hele, Tol Kutrumachayun, ja Celtic. This is good, quite sharp play, good interchange from Celtic, and so really good run here from Manglu into the box.
Yeah, she does brilliant there. She keeps the ball really close to her feet. She's a neat player, great ball through from Amy Gallagher again. And I don't actually know how it's gone through so many players, to be honest. Maybe it's because there are so many players in front of McCann that she doesn't see it, but huge credit to Manglu, and that is a really, really, really important goal for Celtic. They'll feel much more at ease after me just saying for Aberdeen to try and not to concede.
Well, yeah, looked like it was going to happen. It's a great finish from it. Annalisa McCann, maybe, well, she's in Ashkanshin, Laferski train, Laferski Kiri and Ashka the Cassiesha. So, Shin, if I don't have Patterson, if he were it, Partidonish, Rome Gisha, Shaw Fervil and Homer to go up the rain. Partido, McCann, Erigolaki, Kasavarchi. I think Manglu means it. I think McCann has just moved off her near post a wee bit. She's slightly obscured by all the players in front of her, and she just sees a sneaky wee road to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think she's that close to goal. Of course she's going to shoot, and at the end of the day it's paid off. I think we see here again she cuts back on herself and just scoops that into the to the left, to the right of McCann. And yeah, I think you're right actually there. She spotted the opportunity and taken it pretty well. So yeah, due more credit than I probably initially gave her.
I was convinced there was a deflection too. She heard Hill, good job at that. Manjurist. Laferski. Le biach stoche, groei gabi hier na burlig aan de zin, leem mag ze vaardig. Likkie lischkel schachet er vast riest. You were kind of making the point about Aberdeen trying not to concede a second goal, because the danger is once Celtic go 2-0 up, if they relax a wee bit, then they might get 3, they might get 4.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was just saying there. I think that it was the same for Aberdeen against Rangers. They held their own for a while.
Oh, Aberdeen! Jenny Smith, it is she. Tull ein na hart, tull and na Valerenga. Hai on the feed sound it be alud huils ha cushion savage. Ferris denisht. Celtic. Jenny Smith. Fakel Celtic on the sea genisht. Gama Corstal, Gama Savage, Aberdeen. It's not just Colette Kavanagh who'll hit it from anywhere and score worldies in Celtic's midfield. Then.
Yeah, absolutely not. What a finish by Jenny Smith, and you know, credit where credit's due. She hits that perfectly into the top corner, and again, another important goal for Celtic. And but yeah, you know, you can't stop them. I don't think you can blame Annalisa McCann or anyone in that respect. So very well taken.
Carmillan is Shafkis Docha, Balma, Broderick, Ries, Ijanuma. Feikin, Dame, Ravakushni close to the Pialu. Chin the Ulkas, Carmishan Yultiger Murphy Agnew. Agnew Ries, Curie, Male, Ries, Broderick. The Gerigal Trepe, Arson of Alens, Marie Migi, Shakro, Agnew, Kian and Doi. Nachel Lugal, Sketicher. Ik kan er told my heart, how do you told my heart, Trinakin? Look, you get that, a Haparusa toll. It's just a great hit that. I mean, there's enough power in it, but she opens her foot as well just to steer it into the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what I've noticed there is that as soon as she spins away from the Aberdeen player, she's just hitting it straight away. So Annalisa McCann doesn't even get the opportunity to react, to think, oh, there's a shot on here, because Jenny Smith just hit it first time. And you know, as I say, you know, good honour for taking the opportunity. It's an absolutely fantastic finish.
Darcy Miller, who had Miller keer tuil nie, the skipper Jessica Aberdeen, na Kirviarnik. You see Ries, na Chia Grog, Shaq Chia Kai. Thompson, Fen Kasma Shachajin, Chia Grinashinik, na Hichiek. Lua, Dollarashka, Chloe Logan. Just Broderick Fashker Puerling on the third camera Celtic, Sylvia, he is fine. The Misk Faginilla. Ahadach Yanilla, Jean. Kelly Roos. Ferglee Aberdeen. The show Kamal Taik, the heel, Nadine Hansen, skipper. Skipping the man at Aberdeen. There's two guys in Celtic and should go at Horshach. Tidy Birchall, I guess Claire Goldie. The Chinier. Celtic. Kavanagh, Irving Mahas and Darnley show. Celtic's midfield didn't really work as well in the first half, perhaps, but Kavanagh's had quite a lot of impact in the game in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's it. You know, your key players need to step up when, you know, times are against you. And I think, you know, for Kavanagh, she interrupts play. She's not really let Aberdeen midfield get much flow in the second half. You can see that from, you know, the percentage in possession for Aberdeen this second half hasn't been great. And I think, you know, as you say, Kavanagh has been an influence in that and disrupting their play and keeping the attack alive for Celtic.
Torpedo. Stewart, Gagalik, Ogilvie. Paul Krieg. Dol hast. Je is een Oslo, sticker Oslo in drummen. Vind ik geriet zijn jegen verhaal. Dat is toch nog een paar andere Russen. Dan gaan er een gewaad, Sprombe. Aster sy'n mi fawn y chawl. Nis 9 munud yn rigol. Torach rwych yn yr fiawn. Celtic córstal 3 gynion i'r hosioch gyda hwg awn i fôr gaif. Fi córstal. Mae'n lwyr yn jeffer i enw gwir yn eisiau narn y tol o fysio nhw hwyr i chafwr yma chynioni. Jenny Smith. Sar Ylp. Teddy Burchell, ŵd y ffarg. Gain fo Goldie. Na Giagarin, clwy coleg. Helwch Giag. Sio Smith yr eist. Rward yn dwrys e. Ar y macan le drig sy'n mi, mynd yn yr provision, y Ginny Siach. Macan Gagalig Patterson. Patterson, Olga Broderick, Hwg Rwy'n Fagi. Darcy Miller, Ni'n sy'n Malachin. Partido y glach gyda'r fad. Gia gyda Elish yn partido chyn siach och Gia gyfain cwdioch. Is it the Real Madrid fein. Cor yn bygyn y joch i ein. Bygyn i gemi chyn y farag stocha. Ig Celtic na feig i Madrid. Garashich gehaast. Goal division. Tuchtig. Train van Vienna Park. McCann the fehu. Skur lach Savage. Really hard for Aberdeen now to even get out of their own half, Kelly. I suppose they've done well. They've limited Celtic in what they've got, but now having conceded those 2 further goals, just the heads are bound to go down a wee bit.
Yeah, it's probably slightly deflating for them on the basis that they've actually played pretty well today and for a long period of time have nullified Celtic, and so they'll be feeling, I feel like the scoreline is slightly harsh. However, you know, this second half I don't think it's been as good a performance as the first. Maybe it's tiredness, I'm not too sure, but yeah, a lot of players that have not been in the game enough for me in the second half, and I think Celtic have certainly upped their game as well, though, you know, those runs in behind and been far more opportunities, so a lot more defending for Aberdeen to do.
Burchell. Partido. Smith yr eist. Sarho yr eist, Jenny Smith. Fa cwswni, cws rhawn i ymwneud y fwchgys. Agus, lys y sawnt as y fili. Charwach yn nys mwy ag Jenny Smith ysyn. Scha fydd yn nhw, mi cael tachar dach, y fod y hachar. Tawl ddili, ag Celtic, ceir yn ion i'n ysg. Gan y skip ag Fran Alonso. Given the form she's in, given the way she's hitting the ball, once this came to her in such time and space, you didn't really have many doubts about what would happen from Jenny Smith there.
Yeah, well, I think she's actually had probably 4 shots in the game and scored 2, and I think, you know, I was kind of thinking, okay, you're getting is Annalise McCann going to allow you to score that again? And, you know, she hits it beautifully again. I think, could McCann have done slightly better? Probably not, he's right in the corner on second thought there, but great finish.
Ball father. Gychawn nilid, Chloe Logan, dol gofar a Bailey Hutchison gan i Hutchison al gymlisgal. A mi cydych ar y o'r eisiau gan i fawn a bygynt y dynt yr horsi eisiau. Anna Stewart y fawn, Clinton Lancaster. Biad y chi fysnach o gwyd y chorigyn. Clint Lancaster's going to be disappointed, Kelly, but as a response to losing 5 to Hibs during the week, do you think he'll be reasonably satisfied?
I think he'll be satisfied with Aberdeen's first half performance, and I think, as I touched on, it's typically in the last 20 minutes against, you know, the top 3 teams that teams switch off, and often you think, oh well, it doesn't actually reflect my performance, but the game's for 90 minutes. You've got to maintain that and ensure that you're switched on through it, and I think there are a couple of times that you know, in this second half that Aberdeen have switched off, that they maybe had more energy in the tank to stay switched on in the first half. So not too disappointed with the first half, absolutely not. I think they nullified Celtic, but I think, you know, second half you've seen them tired, and as the goals have come in, you know, it's naturally drained them mentally as well.
skippelig goed, ik vast goed. Op een nog eens haast, wat ik in een mag ze game zie. Ik nog begaan nog een tul Thompson. Toch een lijne, via me garage, corner of aan, de op een. Goed cover aan de café op nul de goal, nu wel kijkelijk Fran Ogilvy. Clear Goldie, geen nul. Kunnen Nosh Anderson, misschien gaan we maken. John Patterson, hoe is van de goal, Broderick, hoe is van de goal. Nadine Hansen, dat zeggen de vuurtjes gewoon eruit gejok. Schachter Patterson, van Hansen, Kassig gedaan, Annika en bal die het niet te voren, Chloe Coverishens van je Magariru, Cover Lish Haast, van Passig gekjaar, van Stewart, Agus Hutchison aan, gaan meeget de bal hier gekjaar. Kelly, 2.5 minutes to go. Who's your pick for player of the game?
I think it's a tough one. I think Celtic have really come into it in the second half, so I'm going to focus more on that. Initially I thought Menglu, but I think actually after Janny Smith's 2 goals, the first one being an outstanding finish, you know, huge credit to her. She's put the game to bed, so for me, Janny Smith.
Thank you, Kelly. Taplaats en Shin. Smith, even gehoord. Daar Kuchikin aan de linie jaren kerstgeljoor. Chase Broderick weer maand te op een kerstgeljoor. En Miss Kelly, Thompson, goed op in het park. Zat de Shahri op een. Celtic is zat de Shahri is Broderick. Skaag, Chischel, er staan in de Shach. Nu trust Suul van de Waaldersen. Lugen vi ein makan janu maketa Mr. Gigamaldish in de post kood farvo Terry Burchill if hu Manglur Jeffrey janu no little life free vai live yes fat the game gemanik Paula Partido in de vark Rasker die Karsten Heurig van Jirik van Waschen 4 minuten van Jirik Burchill, kan het al. Trude vehu het bal de Schacher. Geen met ons nog een voet bij Kroatië. Broderick, Hannik naar gestaat de gerorre. Ze mag een maalke corner, ik gaan haal. Kiehen minutje, Varak, Kaviakin. Celtic lisje corner. Patterson hur voet in er. Thompson voet bij Varakker. Mal haastig Celtic het daar. Clear goal die je mag hier in meer in de park. Manglu, keskillingen mag nog even glie. Hutchison en Rash. Genoepreit, ja, en Rash is een leeg heen. Ligger wie ik kan nu eens naar park. Ga gewoon kutten mag te op één. Gaan jullie weer aan? Paar weken gaan nu. Schrik niet heel heen naar hier niet notraschen. Als ze vuur zich heen kujok. Terug hoe gezien ik. Darcy Miller ook weer een maal noorsen naar plus. Ach, ik herskiljoor. Manglu. Oh, Shachator. Hier Rash, Gallagher aan, Hansen Rash, Nanik for love, Broderick, Nanik, gaan jullie zien. Gallagher ska gegeven ku, Gallagher het jontig, vechten Schachter Patterson nog, gaan jullie Patterson tot lekker la, goal Schachter ook clever zijn. Schachter Broderick. Lekker voor een laanwegje. Lacht me zus een kerst haast. Oh, was een vask. Die Burchilltje 0, Chloe Gover. Even jagen die. Zijn de Max Rainy een oprechtje. Op een keer gaan we een keer. Gaan ik eens een even tlach geef. Even kou keer. Gaan ze de jaar naar kook, dus ja. Burchill. Go partido. Ook Burchill. Ik gehaast voorste nog eens in. Lichor. Terugvallen was een joe. Stuart en Harry Miller stoken ach. Heb de bal maar van. Chloe Krieg. Kijk er maar gelijk jou. Just in de nog eens vinden van de zorg. Chloe Logan. Tjene mag gezegd dat is een goedje. Oh, net in de hand zijn gondeking harm. En zeker Chloe Logan van alleen. Gaat door eens een kerstje. Ik kan niet gaan Celtics toch Manglu. Was een truc het daar heen. Uki bal zag het Ries gedaan op Patterson. Thompson, Chontiger kema. Ha Hutchison Kayuri. Ha Hutchison Kavier zo. Chloe Logan kalikkel zag het. Van de Kasseneke, ach Kuju. En yes, weet je, er staat de Billy Hutchison bij Kuju taalacht jezen. Michter nega. Kijk je nog die zich die heeft tegen de slacht. Chloe Logan. Tjenu merk ook eens een nog kwal fatte kuzunie. Er has Rutbeck Surgeonel, Swicken Jenig, wat Kuju Kerken Johnny er Hoshach. Hij forst nog Chloe Logan, kan in Johnny ham haast. Ach, was Celtic, ik tirigala, tirigrova. De goppereen, bij de Johnson Jiegel. Ga je met de skipping, ik Fran Alonso mag wat unie voor. Tul. Ik 4-jarige geertje, nu tul de wounder geertje. Hij is riesje en daar niet, hoe ik het terug van. Bestuur, Shin Manglu. Het Narnet Hall, zijn oorzen en daar hol. Ik Jenny Smith, er een kindje in de pinken, maar hier is er wat er was, kon er Celtic. Ach, wat Shannon is een G-krigel, bestuur Manglu en Narnet Hall, dat was eens. Ik heb nog roepen een en honderst. Kus ervoor, de Chloe Logan zit hol, ik kan eens in. Wel, ga voor in de Celtic, if je konst, dat kan nu dat het hol en varak asjen. Nou, kun je ook een iets, kun je er horsig. Er tuil je Rangers Kuju, get Celtic, get Rangers er horschacher naar de feinken. Stok hem misschien kutter mag haast, ik kan nille deze. Ik kan hier eens, je wilt eens kutter mij dat Celtic, ik heb er boven geriest. Op een en Johnny, Celtic, ik keer.
Sineem ha Celtic y pwynnig na pwyngen. Ac eich iawn hawl agus wel am I tolig tiar them hyf y dras y col ddim Heens Kelly Forrest ha Jenny Smith. Jenny, thanks for joining us so much. You're today's player of the game. Just relieved with the point at the end of it?
Yeah, obviously I don't think it was our best performance, but we're happy with the result and to go into the next game. So.
You of course scored a couple of really good goals. Do you want to have a look at them?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
And really good finishes. I know you came off the bench, but it was just instinctive, wasn't it, this goal? Just what were you thinking? Talk us through it.
I think it was just obviously pressing the ball, and then I kind of just saw the keeper going high, so I just thought I'd have a wee ping in the back of the net. So.
No, it was a great finish, wasn't it? Kelly, I know you were particularly impressed with the strike.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that you've come on and made a big difference. I thought the game lacked energy, and you brought energy to the game, and I think deservedly played in the match. What was the message from Fran just before you came on?
Obviously, we weren't doing it obviously so well. Like we weren't creating enough chances, and like we're a team to create and be like high up in the pitch, and we weren't. I think we were too deep, but we just had obviously the motivation to go out because we obviously need to be at the top of the level. So. Yeah.
How difficult have the last few weeks been for Celtic? Of course, some really exciting games to be involved with. Of course, going away in the Champions League and all that, but all these games, one after another, every 3 days, it must take its toll.
Yeah, especially last season, obviously the load was near enough the end of the season, but now we're getting hit with the games midweek and then on Sunday as well. So, and then obviously Champions League, it was a tough couple of weeks, but I think we're doing positively well. So,
of course, some players in the Celtic team might be getting a few days off now, but not you, I believe, because you're going away with the under-23 squad.
Yeah.
You must be just delighted to get the call up.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. Obviously, they've just made the 23s, but I was at 19s as well, so I'm really happy that I got called up. So,
well, all the best away with the under-23s, and thanks so much for joining us. And I will let you go now.
But
thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Today's player of the game. Super sub there, and she, like you said there, just changed the game almost, and we love seeing great strikes, great goals, and Jenny really made a difference.
Yeah, I think as Jenny's touched on there, I don't think it's been a great performance by Celtic, but at the end of the day it's a 4-0 win, so they've gone down the road with 3 points, but a lot to reflect on for them. But yeah, and I think, you know, deserved player of the match there for Jenny. She come on and scored 2 goals in a game where Celtic actually weren't very good, and she created them herself. You know, 2 fantastic shots. In particular, the first goal for me was an outstanding finish. And then actually, I think she had 4 shots and scored 2, is what I was saying in commentary. So yeah, good for her, and relaxed the team in the end, and a good result. Yeah, absolutely, not a bad return at all. We'll have a look now at the first goal. Of course, it came just before half-time, and it was hardly a classic goal. No, it wasn't like Jenny's at all, but eventually, after a couple of times off the post, Chloe Craig bundled it into the goal. Yeah, I think, you know, as we said at half-time, it's come off the post twice. I think Aberdeen's defence is a bit of a mix-up, and again, credit to Ade for that finish. You see Aberdeen rushing out to try and close the shot, and then obviously it comes off the post, and that usually tends to be what happens. If it comes off the post, your defence have gone out, but the striker stayed in. I thought there was maybe a close contention for offside, but yeah, I think it was on in the end. And of course the second goal then came in the second half, and there was a bit, Jenny Smith obviously came on, and then there was a few other tweaks from Celtic, and the main one, Mong Lu, moved from the right wing to the left wing, and we see exactly here what she brings to the Celtic team, and it was a really intelligent finish. Yeah, it was actually. In hindsight, I think, you know, she was another contender for me for player of the match, because that second goal is crucial. You know, you've seen Fran Alonso celebrating that in the dugout. I think she puts the game to bed arguably there, and it is clever. She's so good at doing the fakes and coming in. I think on another occasion she faked about 3 Aberdeen players, and yeah, she's been instrumental for Celtic over the past few games, and yeah, she again today with a goal stepping up. Absolutely. Well, we can have a look now at the league table, and just to see how things are looking after game week 8, and look, Rangers at the top of the league there, of course, played a game more than both Celtic and Glasgow City. Just looking at the table there, Kelly, of course, it's now the international break. It's the first quarter of the season done. It's actually quite hard to believe that. But what have your overall thoughts been of the opening quarter of the campaign? Yeah, I think as exciting as ever, you know, especially after the dramatic end to last season. But, you know, looking at, you know, Celtic in particular, it's been a tough run of games for them. And as I've credited them earlier, beating Hearts midweek there was crucial. And again, coming up here and taking 3 points. No major surprises. I like the fact that Aberdeen are sitting around mid-table again. And, you know, they're obviously joint 5th just now with Partick and Hearts. So I'm sure a few more exciting fixtures to come between the likes of Hearts, Partick, Thistle, Aberdeen. Absolutely. And of course, games like today won't define Aberdeen's season, but where do you think they'll be aiming for from now towards to the end of May? Yeah, I think they need to pick themselves up after a couple of disappointing, you know, results. Maybe not so much here today. I think their performance was slightly better than the score reflects, but they've been playing very well up until now, and it's about them regrouping and using this international break to potentially, you know, work out their injuries and get people back on for game time. Let's see what happens, but thank you so much for your contribution today, Kelly. It's been a pleasure as always. Agus e tíad mas alashing seo iad BBC Alpa the hearing ha rugby acting the issue seo iad BBC Alpa Watsonians a Dolana na Hairshire pool shit a darna la fichit yen a doping just hunye that yen a glewed a showy a shach. Agus an notion wacha bí an SWPL acting a na herking ach bí gemichin vo league a hun gemichin num fair Celtic Hearts at all an English vrech agus shit just sarnia and na I harnia ag fichit minachin asjewi coic agus notion bishing a dash listen SWPL like Hamilton academical adult and now Rangers shit a knock of la yen a daver a toshgug ag keith with an fisker.
Wel, sy'n cael fawr fwyng y sio i'r BBC Alpa. Ta policio son o fi col o dding, agos, eich i fa.